Universal health care is a health care system in which all residents of a particular country or region are assured access to health care. That is currently a pipe dream in this country, unfortunately. Our health system is broken, and I don't know what it is going to take to fix it. How are we getting the most basic things, like providing our citizens with a decent level of health care, so wrong? We currently have a health system where our most vulnerable children and adults with disabilities are waiting years for the most basic of therapies and early interventions. Speech and language, occupational therapy and psychology appointments within the CDNT teams are practically non-existent, with hundreds of children in South Tipperary waiting to be seen, and therapists are fleeing the service, which just makes it worse. Waiting lists for primary care appointments are no better. In recent weeks, I have brought serious issues in relation to governance of the CAMs in Tipperary to the attention of you, Minister, and Head of Services, which are very concerning in relation to the management and practices within their organisation. The concerns that have been brought to my attention are extremely worrying, and the most disappointing thing about this all is that our young adults are going through a very difficult time in their lives with mental health difficulties, and the ones losing out, and there doesn't seem to be any rush to fix the problem, which is it's desperate. Our children are waiting 5 years for orthodontic appointments, and now the HSE is actively encouraging patients to bring their children to the north for treatment under the cross-border. We are sending our pensioners to Belfast for a 15-minute cataract operation because we can't do them for years, while people waiting for knee or hip or other such appointments have a choice: years of pain or suffering or drive to the north. My own friend and a lady of 83, Katie Peters, is travelling tomorrow to get a hip operation, and I wish her well. And she's frightfully nervous, a kind, gentle woman, like a second mother to myself, and she's so nervous of it, the travel and the distance, and thankfully we can get that service, but it shouldn't have to happen, Minister, and it is happening all the time. And my colleague Deputy Collins, indeed, and Deputy Hillier and others are sending people to all the time to Kingsbridge Hospital in Belfast and elsewhere for a plethora of different, and indeed I want to thank them because they often pick up patients in Care, Mitchelstown, and indeed in Cashel for myself to bring them up, and they come back and they're high in their praise of what they do. And the fact of it is that the people from Northern Ireland are coming down here under the same scheme, getting it done here. So how could a system be so disjointed that it could carry on in that kind of a calamitous route, and no accountability, absolutely no accountability? I myself have been in I said this here during the week again, a number of times in St. Vincent's Public Hospital recently, and I got the best of care. I want to acknowledge that as well, that there are lots of good things. The best of care I went in the front door till I came out, nearly a week later, and back several times for follow-up, very professional and very streamlined and very little waiting time. How can it be so chaotic in other areas? And I also want to acknowledge that I attended the matter to Professor David Keegan, and he and his colleagues, and I was with him this day week, and he and colleagues have very a great vision of how vision is not a pun, but it's very important, and of how we can make things better here for eye treatments and the cataract operations. And we looked at the Sligo model, and it was a success. But now he tells me last week he just half attempted to give up because he's meeting resistance and meeting blockages and meeting roadblocks that he would never anticipate it would be. And he's a professional surgeon of high renown, and his colleagues, and they want to do their job. They shouldn't have to be lobbying and coming in here for meetings with the HSE to get the services, the dynamic services that they want to provide, and they're showing a pathway. But there's too much red tape and too much fiefdoms, and I say the word fiefdoms again, within the HSE and the Department of Health. People mind their own patch and not there to serve the greater good, as all people should be as public servants. So we need a good, strong minister, which we don't have, to take on this system and give it a good shake-up and make it work for our people. And that's what we badly need. And it's getting worse rather than better. I hear you regularly, Les Concorder, talking about the situation in Galway and issues there. And TDs from all over the country. We're like bad records here talking about it. But Limerick based banner out. Limerick is unbelievable. The blackguarding that's going on there with people, with the public. As I said, a 15-minute cataract operation, we can't do them here. We can't get appointments with our GPs for up to 2 weeks. And people can't even get a GP to take on new patients. And it's happening all over Tipperary and all over the country. Our care dog services go unanswered as they can't cope with the demand, while our hospitals tell people to stay away and attend their doctor. And I regularly hear that on Tip FM about University Hospital, St. Joseph's Hospital in Clonmel. We want to change the name to University Hospital now. We changed it twice already, South Tipperary General, and we were rushed to change the name and do things like that. Doesn't make any services better by changing the name. And the amount of money has been wasted in changing names to South Tipperary General and now University Hospital Corcus. You mightn't think it, but every piece of paper, every item, everything has to be changed. So changing the name and sticking a university tag on them doesn't say everything. Now we have a good service in Clonmel, they're very good there. Peter Mutton and his team of consultants, Paul O'Regan when he was there, and many others. And we have had, a 30-bed extension which we fought for. We now have St. Michael's, which was robbed from us by both Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael, left abandoned with the last 10 years, but now it's finally a step down from St. Joseph's Hospital, also in Clonmel, which I will keep calling that hospital where all my children were born, not the fancy university names. So as I said, where are people to go when they have no other option, only to A&E? And they're left for hours and days, in some cases on a trolley. And most horrific of all, patients have died. Have been found dead hours after their passing in one of the hospitals, and that's, you know where I'm talking about, Limerick, serving my constituency, while others, young lives have been lost in the most shocking incidents. And how can we stand over that and condone that? If there was a war going on or something, we'd say that could happen, but in so-called civilised country, a democratic country, it's just not acceptable. Our elderly, while approved for home help, can't get any home help because there's no one to do the work. The HSE appear happy to approve the hours, happy in the knowledge that they have ticked the box, but the elderly are living at home alone and have no services. Our nursing homes are underfunded, so much that many are choosing to care for loved ones at home. Where are our elderly patients going to get care? And I ask that question in all honesty. And it's not fair to have them in their twilight years, worry and suffering. And indeed, the battle that's going on in Limerick at the moment is despicable. I could go on and on, Minister, but unfortunately don't have enough time today to talk about the failures of our health system. Universal health care, as I said, what is really about the Irish citizens are currently not assured of access to health care, at least not in a timely fashion or in a manner that represents their dignity and value of citizens of this country. We're failing them. We have failed, and unless there's radical change within our health services, we'll continue to fail them. And just go back to Limerick University Hospital and to see now, that's appalling, because the amalgamation of the closure of Nina and St. John's and indeed Innes A&Es was predicated on the fact that we're going to have a certain number of beds in Limerick. We never got those beds in Limerick, so there's going to be organised bedlam there when that happened. We've been asking and calling to reopen Nina and St. John's and indeed Innes, but no, to no avail. And we've seen mismanagement of appalling state in Limerick University Hospital, appalling mismanagement. And the cases I get, and I don't get too many because I'm the furthest away from it, but it's just shocking. I know Councillor Shamie Morris and others are doing Trojan work to try, and Dr. Conor Reedy and his team, to try and highlight this issue. And now then they decided, whoever decided it, or whoever's brainchild it was, HICWA had forced St. Collins to close down the home in Nina for elderly care and respite, and they were, because of standards, and they have built a new St. Collins to the value of 50 million, state of the art. And the staff there and the patients and their families were all so looking forward to moving in, ready to move in. And what have powers that be have said now? That they're going to use it as a step down for University Hospital Limerick. And the patients now, Hickware and Dilemma, they had condemned the building, the old St. Conan's. But hey presto, now a senior official in the HSE, and I called out her name here last week, has said that the wine Hickware, they'll do what we tell them. So what confidence does it give anyone in a nursing home that's supposed to be governed by Hickware? None whatsoever. That a HSE official could say that. Don't mind, Hickware will do what we tell them. So they're going to allow them now the patients to stay in an unsafe building. It was unsafe 3 years ago, and it's further unsafe. And now they're going to be let's say it again, because senior officials have decided they can do it. So what's the point of having an office for Hickware and a CEO and a whole plethora of people when we have a breastplate on the window, as I said, when they're useless, toothless and fruitless, when they can be cast aside by senior health officials? It's not acceptable. And Minister Marfuckel-Score, it's a shame and a continuing shame that you closed Carrick-on-Suir, St. Bridget's and Carrick-on-Suir, so unceremoniously closed it. 3 hospital suites there provided for by the people, and have continued to not to listen to the people, meet the people, or engage the people. The good people and the staff and management there. Many of the people that have died there, the loved ones, they were also born there. So it's generational. And as I said, a lovely hospital, district hospital, seconded Moriarty for COVID, in the middle of COVID, and never used, and closed it down. And it was good enough to be used for COVID, but yet you decided it wasn't good enough. And we've got no answers. The Hospital Action Committee, we've come up here to the Petitions Committee, we've gone everywhere. Absolutely no answers, no accountability whatsoever. Zero accountability from you, Minister, who took the decision to close it. You phoned me to tell me anyway that you were closing it. And your own backyard, I couldn't believe it. People come in there from Portlaw, where you're from, and all that part of Waterford, and indeed South Kilkenny and Tipperary, and the beds haven't been replaced. And worse than that, the funding that the people collected at wakes, at fundraisers, and many other areas, and donation boxes at wakes, is what I mean, to support the hospice suites there, hasn't been returned to the committee or the people. And shame on you. Thank you.